Labaina. She
Okay.
will be co-host. She'll be helping you with the questions from the audience.
Also, Mariam, I just wanted to know, I received a Google Meet link over my email. So we are not doing it on Google Meet. We are doing it on StreamYard.
Yeah, we are doing on StreamYard. The Google Meet was because some of the speaker requested to add it on their, Google Calendar. So that's why, because we need to add some sort of event. So there is some, this link needs to be posted. So that's, useless. So don't get confused with that. Okay, so we are live. We'll just wait 2 minutes quickly so that we
Yeah,
have a
because
good
I
number of
was
audience.
trying to enter from.
Oh, okay.
Sure thing, sure thing.
Great, great. Well, I'm really happy to have you again on this platform.
I'm so happy too. And I'm so happy with the topic as well. It will be a lovely one for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Labina, Tahniat knows me already. Would you like to introduce yourself until she starts?
Yeah, sure. I would love that. Hi, I'm Lubna. Um,
Hi,
I'm
Ravana.
currently I'm currently studying in KSPL. I'm studying business IT
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just joined IEC as a brand ambassador, and I'm really excited for your session.
Mm-hmm. So you're doing your BBA?
Yeah, I'm doing business IT.
Business IT. Nice. IT has good scope.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
No worries.
So, okay, I think we should start. We have a solid 5 to 6 people. Audience have started joining. They will keep coming, keep leaving because it's a live stream. So, yeah, I think let's get started with our session. It's day 3 of our Digital Architect Conference. I would highly welcome you all to this conference. This is happening very first time as a Tech Architect Conference, virtually. So we have our moderator over here, Lubena, and Miss Tahniat Alam as a speaker. So this is IC's very first conference featuring 50 plus speakers for 7 straight days. This conference will be continued for 20th November. I'm super excited to give the floor to Miss Tahniat Alam along with Lubena, since Lubena already introduced herself. So we'll go directly to the speaker, and I hope you guys will have fun. I have great, insightful fruits to take away from this fruitful session. Over to you, Miss Tahniat.
Thank you so much, Mariam, and thank you, Levina, for having me. I'm so excited that this is my second time with the Institute of Emergings, and I'm excited for the today's topic. So, anyone and everyone who has joined us so far, I'll quickly give you guys my quick introduction. I'm Tehniat Alam. I'm currently working as. Am I audible? I'm sorry.
Yes, yes, you are.
So, my quick introduction would be that I'm currently working as a digital marketing manager at Bank Alfala. But my journey, or I would say my story, goes way back when I graduated as a doctor of pharmacy. And then, just once I finished my pharmaceuticals, I joined in as a pharmaceutical marketer at National Pharmaceutics of Karachi. And there, that's how exactly I started my journey. Then I went to Australia next, where I worked as a pharmacy assistant for a good time. I came back, and that's when exactly a good opportunity of joining a software house happened for me. And I joined in as initially a customer facing job, and then eventually taking up a lead as a customer success lead. For almost 5 years, I would say. And from pharmacy to actually digital marketing was a big journey for me. And until then, now I've joined Bank Alpha as their digital marketing manager. And when I say this quick story of mine, I'll quickly tell you that this is exactly how I can correlate to the topic I'll be talking about today with everyone is that how everything, I would say, just not a project, just not a campaign, but everything needs a story to connect to it. That's why when I tell my story, I'm certain everyone who's listening around can also relate to the little tidbits parts of their lives as a story. And we all love to share our own. And that's exactly how it's so important to have in our lives. Shall I go ahead with sharing the few little more things? Or Libena, you've got anything for me?
No, I'm just so glad to have you here. You should go on.
Okay. So once I remember, Mariam shared this quick topic with me that how every story needs a storyteller. I just want to tell everyone that it's not every project that needs a storyteller, but it's more like every project needs a story. Because once you have a story, you always have a storyteller to it, or you can have several other storytellers to that one story. But the problem is that often when you are working on a project where one is leading, or you're a part of a project or a campaign, or an upcoming event like this digital tech event, when it comes to that, there's going to be bigger teams, but not everyone can relate to it. And that's exactly how it gets very important to have a goal, to know it together, to actually reach where you really want to reach. And that's what a story does. A story is more like a map. So so for a particular project, you get a map, you get a story, and then you follow through that story until you reach your final scene, your goal, something that you have aimed for. So there's going to be a lot of time. I really want to connect in a way that there's going to be a lot of times where we really want to do something with this idea. Let's do this particular conference. And now she's like, okay, we are doing this. Let's do this particular conference. And all the designers around could be like, okay, let's make a poster. And they create a poster for an event. And then she's like, no, what? I really want the picture to be here and the title to be here, and this has to look like this. Another change comes in, and she's like, the feeling is not coming out of it. I cannot relate to it. I cannot relate to it. And just like that, there are so many changes made. But anything is not giving you the story. Anything is not giving you the feeling. Are we good?
There is some distortions from your side.
Okay. Can you hear me now? I don't know. I just got a notification of trouble connection, so I just really wanted to be sure.
Yeah, you just got disconnected for a while, but I can hear you better now.
I'm better now. Okay, cool. Shall I continue?
Yeah, you can.
We're good. Okay.
Yes, we
Just
are.
let me
You can
know at
continue.
any point. Then I'll try to shift my connection.
Yes, there is
Okay.
some,
Okay.
lack of
Perfect. So I'll just
distortions.
continue further. And at any let me just quickly check my connection. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Are we good now?
Yeah, we can hear you much better.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll just continue. So I was telling that the story of any project or any campaign of any conference for any organization is your actual base. And why a story is important is because everyone who's a part of that project is connected with that story. So often we think that we fail a project because the people of a part of it are not competent enough. We feel that we are not together or we are unable to reach the success because we lacked something. But I'll tell you what exactly happens is that it is the main goal, it's the main core, it's the main story that aligns everybody together. So you are emotionally invested into that story. You all can relate to that story. You all are to working together to achieve your particular destination, the particular success, however you define your success, is because everyone is a part of that story. Once you are part of a project where you just cannot feel like it, where you actually cannot फील कि ये हमारा अपना पार्ट है या हमें इसकी ज़रूरत है या हम ये क्यों कर रहे हैं so you a lot of questions like why what how really does matter when it comes to achieving a goal, and that all purposes are given by our story there. Now, if you ask me, if there is a story, everything is there. Do we really need a storyteller? Yes, we need a storyteller. Why? Because someone has to speak about that story. Someone has to actually bind them all of us together. Someone has to bring everybody aligned to that story. And storytelling could be anything. It could be thing that can naturally happen, but it is also something that you can acquire. So a lot of times, we are just not aligned into a story, and that storyteller actually helps us in aligning everybody together into one thing. So if I quickly go into our core idea, like how we can actually build a story, how a project can be one which is filled with a particular goal. And with that, I would also like, I'm not certain if we can actually have in people who can ask questions to. Do we have participants in this one? Hi.
Tahni, is everything like good from your side? Because your voice is breaking a lot.
Is it? Okay. I think so. It's all good because I can see you guys moving a bit. I'm not sure.
Yeah, matlab, it goes
Is it
good,
is it
but then
still breaking?
like when you're talking about the session, it breaks. But when we are talking about confirming, it doesn't.
Hmm. What could be done about it? Have to see. Let me see if I can just restart my internet if that helps. Let me know if I am audible and I'm not breaking up.
Yes, it's good right now. But
Am I
your
audible,
screen,
girls?
yes, you are audible, but your screen is stuck. How about you join once again? Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you? Yeah, it looks good right now. Let's continue.
Okay, awesome. Okay, perfect. So yes, I really need to reconnect where we left. Okay, so I was trying to put it here कि हम एक story का framework कैसे बना सकते हैं क्योंकि एक project हमें मिल जाता है. If you are someone who's leading a project, so I quickly give you an example, and I would really like you all to connect with it in a way because that is something very practical. एज अ गुड स्टोरी टेलर आप क्या कर सकते हैं और अगर आपको अपने प्रोजेक्ट को एक सोल और एक स्टोरी देनी है तो आप उसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं सो लेट्स क्विकली हॉप ऑन दैट बिकॉज आई थिंक द टाइम इज रनिंग एंड वी आर ऑलरेडी facing a lot of connection issues right here so I really do not want anybody to miss out the essence of this quick conversation so something that's very important और मेरे ख्याल में हम सब ने सुना होगा कि there are 5 Ys and 1 H and that is like what when where what where when who and why. Most important is why. And H is how you do it. This is basically the core of your story when you're building a story and when you are about to tell your story. So, for example, let's put it this way when I am working with my team, my marketing team at Bank Alphala, a lot of time when we have something digital coming up. So, सबसे पहले क्या जरूरी होता है? For whom are we doing it? किसके लिए कर रहे हैं and along with that comes a why as well why are we doing this so something that comes up कि कुछ ऐसा बनाना है कुछ ऐसा करना है the quick questions should be why it's needed why we are doing this then who are we doing it for are these the people who are associated with our project, with our organization, or are these the people who don't know about our project, who don't know anything, and we are going to target them out there in the market? So first, why? Karna kyun hai? Then, for whom are we doing it? Then once you're done with that and you have sorted कि भाई हमारी जरूरत क्या है so why we are doing it because we want to we want to really actually create awareness about this thing to whom people who don't know about this thing then comes what are we going to do so with the what is where your strategy comes in okay sorry yeah so when I say that what we are going to do that's exactly where your strategy comes in so for example Now you know what you're going to do, the people. Now you decide. Now you have a strategy board. You think, okay, we can create a story. We can create a video for the awareness of the people. We can actually, go for a session. We can bring in people. We can have a lot of content that we can share with people. That's where exactly where comes in. Now you know what to do, but where are we going to do it? So, is it going to be a physical thing? Is it going to be something on social media? Is it going to be something very digital? Is it going to be a print media? Could it be an electronic media and we could be marketing on the TV? Where we are going to put it? And then, most importantly, comes how are we going to do it? How are we going to build our story? And lastly, I would say that's beyond what, where, why, how is the impact that's going to create. So you have made people aware of your project, of your topic, but is it good? Will they learn something out of it? And I'm certain everybody who is a part of our digital conference today, who are not only the organizers, but everyone who's listening to us, would always be think that why am I taking this session? Why is this session important for me? So what's my goal? What impact does this particular session of ours is going to do? That's exactly whenever you're creating a project, that's a story that you really need to have. And once you do have this story, and when you're very sorted with all of it, that's where comes in the storyteller. Because now on the board, I have created a story. Now on the board with my little team, we have thought of and created a story. But we really need to be the storytellers out there so that everyone who is a part of it, everyone who's going to receive it, really needs to know why we did it on the first place, why we found it important to be shared with everybody. This is why a storyteller becomes equally important when there is a story. A storyteller is very important in a project because this person aligns everyone around them. This is the person who shares the real meaning of that particular project with everyone. So, you know what? At the end of the day, everyone is feeling motivated to be a part of that project. Everyone has great ownership of that project as well. So everyone is like, this is my project. This is my story. This is my thing. So your little campaign, your little strategy, so it's just not you worrying about it. It is every individual who's a part of that project starts worrying about it equally. It's not like you feel like, oh, I was just a creator of it. I don't mind if it succeeds or not. I was just a designer of it. I don't know if it even, goes bad. If nobody likes it, none of my concern. I got paid for it. I'm going to a job. I'm just doing my job and coming back home because, I get paid for it. It's the why the problem comes here is, and when we say that, like, nobody's taking ownership of something, it's because not everyone is aligned. So our story aligns you together, they gels you in together. It is a way of sharing the same emotions, the same motivation, the same ownership among everyone who's a part of a project. So a lot of time, for example, let's put it this way, I'm sure that a lot of students will be listening to this. And or even back in my time, if I would say back in my university days, there used to be a project and there used to be a group project it is. कुछ ऐसे होते थे बच्चे जो बहुत बढ़ बढ़ के डिसाइड करेंगे, हमें ये करना है, हमें ये करना है, हम इसको इस तरह प्रेजेंट करेंगे, ये इस तरह दिखेगा, ये इस तरह दिखेगा. एंड देन देयर आर फ्यू हु आर जस्ट लाइक, हाँ बता देना क्या करना है एंड वील जस्ट डू इट. अच्छा, इसकी प्रेजेंटेशन हम कर लेंगे, अच्छा प्रेजेंट हम लास्ट में कर देंगे, प्रोजेक्ट बना के दे देना, वी लुक इनटू इट एंड वी आर गोइंग टू डू इट. देयर आर सम who will possibly be, even if you say na कि group project के लिए हमें meeting करनी है, so थोड़ा सा late रुक जाए सब after, after the classes end, they'll still be like, just let me know whatever you guys discuss, I just cannot stay. So we always have these kind of people in a group. So what happens is that at the end of the day, few feel that we worked really hard for that project, and few will have not worked hard, but in the end of the day, when there is an appreciation, everything, they also get all the credit without actually working hard. अब ये हो क्यों रहा है? Because not everyone is sharing the same feeling. कभी कभार, even when there is a group project, someone would actually feel like, यार ये कोई leader तो नहीं है group के. Why are they actually leading this this everything. Why are they telling us what to do? I also have ideas why I am not being heard, why all the ideas are being presented by this one or two people. But I also have an idea. So I'll quickly tell that back I was working at a place and there was a team. One or two people were very highlighted. मतलब आप कहेंगे they were the stars of that team. Anything that comes to them, they'll feel amazing. So every project would indirectly, unsaid, gets led by them. And now you feel that they are the only leaders in that team to unconsciously start depending on those leaders as well. So once they broke that entire team into two, and they got them really competitive. They were like, okay, we are giving both the teams one. Okay, I'm sorry, just give me a minute. Right, can you hear me now? Is it any better? Is my voice good?
Yes, it is good. We can hear you. You can continue.
Okay, perfect. So I was just saying that. So what they did do is कि उनकी पूरी बड़ी सी एक team थी. They divided that team into two, and then one team had this original individual who was always having this leadership qualities, always leading the team into all the big projects, and the other team had someone who was a senior member but was never given that leadership position before. Nobody actually trusted that person before with the leadership thing. And in that moment we realized, when the competitive situation occurred and both the teams had individual projects, we saw that that individual who never had the limelight performed exceptionally well, had some great ideas for their team, and actually led that project beautifully compared to the other person. And in that way, we are not saying that the first team and their leader was any bad. That leader was actually good. But sometimes, when all the limelight is gone to one storyteller, we often forget that other people also have stories to tell and they understand. And this is exactly where you need a person to speak up, to feel the story. And it is a person who's in a leading position, who's maybe in a management position, actually has to share the same emotion, the same empathy, the same accountability in among the entire team. कभी कभार हमें ऐसा लगता है कि जो लीडर है या जो मैनेजर है उसकी सारी जिम्मेदारी है. So even if a project fails, they'll be the one caught up. Because हम उस project से या उस campaign से या उस goal से relate ही नहीं कर पाते. So coming back and circling back, that we all really need to have a story. We all really need to be the storytellers in whatever position we are, because sometimes as a storyteller you really do not need a skill, you really do not need any degree to be a storyteller. What you actually really need to have is to have clarity of the project that you are a part of, number one. And number two, you really need to have clarity. So you need clarity, and then you also need conviction that, okay, so now I'm a part of a project. This is my story, and now we are going to achieve it. So once you share the same story with everybody who's a part of it, and just not the team members, but with everyone out there, if everyone who see that project and they feel that yes, this is something that we want, I think as a storyteller you have succeeded. And same is the reason why you really need to have a story behind a project. Because आप कोई भी business start करें, आप कोई भी degree करें, आप कोई भी job करें, अगर आप इस importance को नहीं समझते, that what you are becoming a part of and why you really need to do that. So again, what I say is like why you are doing it, how you are going to do it, what it will be all about, and where is it actually going. Who it's going to help out. अगर आपके ये questions answered नहीं है, और अगर हर team member, हर partner, हर colleague आपका, आपके friends, आपके team members, आपके batchmates, अगर यही चीज को face same feel नहीं करते, then I don't think any project can actually leads to the success where it should be, unless everyone is aligned and is on the same page. So I think that's how a story or storytellers really plays an importance. Let me know if you guys have any questions before I go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so somebody asked this question that how do you fix a conflict when someone starts acting like project is only theirs and they take too much of control and then it begins to cause a problem for the team. So how would you solve that?
Okay, so it depends in the setting. For example, if we are in a educational setup, then it's something different. If we are in a working setup, then it's different. Because once you come to a working setup, you always have a hierarchy always set. So you do know who's the manager, who's the team lead, who is being like, who is supposed to head a project. Number one. If you're into an educational setup, अगर आप university project की बात कर रहे हैं, so mostly it has to be either a decided person who can lead that project, that has to be unanimous. But अगर इस question से मुझे ये समझ में आ रहा है that there is a place, there is a group where there is no decided leader and someone starts acting one. So there are always two ways. Either one can always talk them out and everyone can bring in as an opportunity where everyone can share their own ideas until a final idea unanimously is decided. See, this person who is trying to take all the lead is either really want to have all the limelight often, and if the situation is unhelped, you can always seek helps from your teachers where they can actually come in and try to sort it out. Because see, the story starts where, and all the motivation starts where you circle back in and try to talk this person out either instead of creating a conflict. It can always be a conflict that is completely agreeable, लेकिन कोशिश ये की जाए कि बात की जाए, because at the end of the day communication is the key. Because sometimes you can always take their lead and you can be like, okay, they have maybe possible idea, good idea, but where you see that not everyone is aligned, you really need to have a huddle. You always need to come huddle up and see that are we going towards the same goal as we all decided to be. Because at the end of the day, the success or the failure is going to impact all of us and not just one individual. So we do not, you can always have this approach that we do not say or we do not deny that this one person can have amazing ideas and can have amazing goals, but you all really need to resonate with the same idea. You all really need to feel the same energy and motivation like this one person, because tomorrow, if you will not be able to be performing the way this particular individual really wants you to perform and really wants to show the dedication. So if that gets missing, that is the reason, because they cannot relate to the story behind that entire project. And of course, this is going to lead to different issues and problems within the project. So I think communicate, number one. Number two, if the ideas are good of this person, go ahead, go behind them, do it. But at any point you think that's not working out, you really need them to know that if we all are not together and align on the same topic or on the same place, then there is a good chance that we all won't even feel like owning this project the way you are owning it. So if you really want us to own it along with you, let's share the story than having just one story.
Thank you so much. That was really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have more questions?
No, we can continue. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, now you are, Maria.
Yeah, we can continue. We don't have any further questions. If there will be, we'll take it at the end.
Okay, perfect. So I think so. We are on the clock for the next 15 minutes, which is where I would now like to highlight um, the specific reason why a storyteller is very important in a project or in a story. So a lot of times, generically, we have a lot of stories happening around. So now because हमने जो इतनी देर से बात की आप स्टोरी बोर्ड कैसे क्रिएट कर सकते हैं या कहाँ से आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, we a lot of time we forget to ask people why it matters, and I really want to talk about this why. See, it's not about asking the same question and again, but it is about understanding what you're becoming a part of. So ask why, and you really need someone in a project to remind you of that why. बहुत दफा आप ये चीज नोटिस करेंगे कि there is there is a project, there is um, a group, or I'm not certain what exactly one can say a part of a project, but you can always say like maybe a campaign you're going towards, but we often do not ask questions. And this is why asking questions is very important, because you are not feeling like being there. You're not actually feeling that this is also like, you are important. A lot of time we don't feel important. And that mostly happens because we do not know what we are a part of. So question puche, why puche, and if you have any ideas, be very vocal and communicate. In today's time, in whatever setup we all are, if you're at a working place, if you are someone who is at a part of an educational institute, if you're someone who's studying at this point in life, if you're someone who's seeking to build a business of your own, like an entrepreneur, if you're thinking of something, I think the best things that can actually help you in building a story for yourself is going to be number one, you have a storyboard of yours. So जो भी आपके दिमाग के सारे cluttered ideas hain, I really want you all to write them all up in one place. Maybe create a slide of your own, and that's going to be your draft to create your story next. No business, no idea, no project can start without having its core places in place. So you really do not need a huge thing, or like, maybe a tool, a paid tool or something. You really need to have your all ideas dumped into a place. Number one, you can have all of them into a slide, into a place, and then start connecting them all. You really do not have to build your story in one day, but you can just sleep over on all your drafts and then next day have a look at it in a different view. Once you are through it, and then you start assembling them. Also, if it's just not your thing, but it is also a part of a lot of people, then take your all ideas in a group and in front of everybody and then ask them to dump in their ideas. Ask a lot of questions that we are about to get started with this thing. These are my ideas on the board. What do you think? Ask them all this question that, okay, we see it this way. This is, my thought process. What do you think? What do you think we can make better out of it? And then create a story from there. Get all your W's and your 1A's all aligned. And once you have all aligned, then final screen should be your impact. Because anything that you are about to build, anything that you're about to create, any project that you're about to start, anything that you're about to plan, everything needs to have its final goal, its final success page. So whenever, like, you're finalizing your story, think of that final scene, how it's going to look like. So if it's my project's launch day, what do I really want to see on that big screen? How my launch day should look like, what it should be there. I am thinking of starting a clothing brand, but how that brand should look like on the day end, how it should be perceived by people who who are about to purchase from my brand. Why would they be doing that? What impact are they going what impact my brand is going to create on it? So I'm certain that everyone who has joined us in here today, they are looking forward to learn something that they either don't know, or they're ready to unlearn and learn something from from me and all the esteemed guests who are becoming a part of this conference is because you really need to know what impact there is going to be on your lives about it. And that's exactly where the story begins. And that's exactly where your story ends. And everyone who's a part of that story really need to feel the same way, the way that you feel. And I think I'm good. I think that's where I conclude my today's session.
Lavina, do we have any questions?
Hello? Yeah. So there was
Hi.
this one question that I saw, and it was like, is there any tip or advice you'd like to give to someone who isn't good with storytelling, or something that would motivate them? Any tip or any advice you would like to give?
Sure. So, okay. So, a lot of time we mix storytelling with, okay. So, when we say storytelling, someone thinks that, oh, I really need to be an extrovert to be a storyteller, or I really need to know public speaking to be a storyteller. I feel, let's be very honest. Let's take our lives. If I put you on a stage and I say, please tell me about your struggles or your life or your successes, how easily are we are going to share about it? In that moment, हम ये नहीं सोचेंगे कि मुझ में कितना कॉन्फिडेंस है. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि आप एक कोई बहुत ही बड़े हुजूम के सामने ये स्टोरी बताने खड़े हुए हैं, but you, when it comes to talk about your own successes and the failures you've been through and where you are standing today, you say it with a lot of pride. You share it with a lot of confidence out there because you've lived it. This is exactly what you really need to be as a storyteller. Maybe you're not an extrovert, but कोई अगर आपसे आपकी चीज पूछता है तो आप उसको बहुत अच्छे से बता देते हैं. अगर मैं कहूँ आपकी फ्रेंड को डिस्क्राइब करें, you'll think for a few topics कि अच्छा मैं सी क्या क्या चीजें बता सकती हूँ. लेकिन अगर आपको कोई कहे ना अपनी जर्नी के बारे में बताओ, so sometimes, like, imagine our grandparents talking about their own times. They become a storyteller. They're not born as a storyteller, but they have lived something so pure. They feel it from their heart. So automatically, we all can imagine our grandparents as the best storytellers. अगर आप किसी अच्छी बड़ी कंपनी के किसी फाउंडर या सीईओ के पास बैठे who has lived a good age and you ask them कि आपने how did you build this up, they all go into the past, they all become a storyteller in that moment कि मैंने यहाँ से शुरू किया था फिर हमने ये किया. Why? It's not that they are born as storytellers or they are extrovert people, but something that you live, something that you own from your heart, you automatically become a storyteller for that. And nobody can then take away that story from you because you are living it in that moment. So जब भी कोई एक चीज आप स्टार्ट करते हैं जिसको आप ओन करते हैं, if one needs to actually become a good storyteller, you really need to feel it that way. And if you are not feeling something, that project, that campaign, that strategy, अगर आपको छोटी सी छोटी और बड़ी चीज परेशान नहीं कर देती, then I'm literally telling you you're not the part of the correct story. Maybe your story is something different. Maybe the project, the company, the organization, the group is going to be something different. Because if even you are trying and that's not happening for you, then there has to be something else and something better. It is just exactly like, you know, you this is like, so this is why when you're working on a project, you really need to feel it. And not just you, everyone has to be the storyteller of that project. So आप अगर किसी को भी cherry pick करें, that person should tell you about that project equally with the same emotions and motivation, just like anyone else would. I would again say, like, we are a part of Pakistan. It was not one person's or one leader's creation, but it was a group effort of a lot of different leaders, a lot of people together who dreamt of a country, an independent country. So we cannot take it away. And if you would have asked anyone among them, like why there has to be an independent country, Pakistan, they would all have the same kind of emotions behind it. Like, this is why Pakistan is important. This is why it has to be there. And it's going to be the same emotions, the same motivation, the same encouragement. They all were on the same place. This is it. This is behind everything. Everything. So if you really, I think so, my only tip for being a good storyteller would be that you really need to own a story. You really need to own the impact you're about to create with a project. And once you are there with others on the same page, I think so you'll be the best storyteller out there. And you really do not need to have any other skill than having good clarity and that passion about that thing, that project, that story.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was really helpful. And I believe everybody should be a storyteller apart from the leader, because, it just brings in a lot of creativity and the ideas are very original then, and it also brings the team closer, I believe so. Anyways, thank you so much for your
Yes.
session. It was really helpful. I am sure everybody loved it. Maria, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, I would just like to thank Tahniat. Thank you so much for considering our request. It was another, honor to have you on this platform on our very first conference, and you starting the day three. I think nothing could be more hyped up for that. Thank you so much for being this, and I think the topic suits you so perfect since you talk so melodious. I think it's time to wrap up, and I would wish that we can have another sometimes. So until next time, Allah Hafiz from my side.
Definitely. Thank you guys for having me. And thank you everyone who has joined us. Let me know. You can always connect with me over my LinkedIn for any questions, for anything that I can do for you guys. And yes, thank you so much. All the best for the rest of the event.
Thank you so much. So let's wrap it over here. Um, I would appreciate all the attendees to fill up the attendance form to avail your certificates. And let's move towards the next section. And it's taking part at almost 4 p.m. Like, let's get the catch up after 4 minutes. Allah Hafiz, everyone. Thank you so much, Tanya. Thank you so much, Lavina. Let's see you in
Thank
the next
you.
meeting. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Hafiz.
Thanks.